Hey, what's up everyone? Brent.
And I'm Barry, and we are from the band Shinedown, and you are watching Metalshop TV. The great question, when can they expect the album? Listen, it's not quite done yet.
When it's done.
When it's done is when it'll be out. I can tell you there will be 2 more songs that come out this year, and you will get a record next year. Probably, I would imagine we're hoping for March. We're close, but we're never going to release anything that isn't up to our standards, and we're just not there yet. We're here, and we're not there. So we're soon, next year.
Our whole thing about it was this. It was the idea of if we do it in a traditional setting in regards to releasing the record that we're creating right now, it would be a lot longer of time, since the last album. And so we said, let's give them a couple of songs earlier in the year and then give them 2 more songs at the back half of the summer into the fall and announce the record in the fall, and it'll be out next year, probably late February, early March of 2026.
This is produced by
third record with
wonderful
Eric
bass player Eric Bass. He is the producer, mixer, master, because we trust him and he's got a good vision. So it will be him again on this record if he doesn't quit all of us because he's driving himself crazy as he always does. But this will be all Eric. Honestly, I think we still have a lot more work to do here in Europe.
Yeah.
I don't count that we're successful yet, though we're working towards it. It's been a mixture of many different things between, obviously I could say label and management at certain times, different people that we worked with over here, different promoters. It just didn't get us over here or understand who we are at the time frame, and maybe sometimes they don't understand us still to this day, so we just don't take no for an answer, and we keep pushing ourselves over here because we love it over here, we love the people over here, and we want to gain the people over here. I think we got a lot of help from big tours like opening up for Iron Maiden and things like that, and playing these big festivals. We're so excited to play today at this festival. Really, we have a lot more to conquer, but as long as we keep growing over here, that's the goal.
The other thing too is, like, the band Shinedown, the way we look at it is Shinedown is everyone's band. So a lot of times for years we kind of got pigeonholed in just being, you're a rock band, be a rock band, and we're like, you know what, we're rock and roll to the bone, but that's not all we are. Like, we're influenced by so many different cultures and different types of music that our audience is very, very vast. So I think we're not the quintessential, you can't necessarily put us in a box of just a rock band or a metal band, because there's a lot of there's hip hop influence, there's pop influence, there's metal influence, there's rock influence, there's alt influence, there's late 90s influence, there's jazz influence, there's all these different things. And if you really dive into all 7 records, obviously we're working on the 8th record right now, and this new album is really all over the place. But all the songs belong on the record. But I think from the European side of things and what have you is we had a little bit of an obstacle where we would get some momentum over here with certain tours, and then there'd be a 2-year break, and then not a necessarily break like we didn't want to be over in this part of the world. We would either have to get a record out for the label, or you would be coinciding off of Europe and the UK, but you were trying to get to Australia, then you're trying to get to South America, you're trying to get back to Asia, you're trying to do Dubai for the first time. All these things, it's a big world. But I feel like more than anything, of all the cities outside of Canada, all the countries outside of US and Canada, because those are kind of close, I think that Europe is the most forgiving in a lot of ways too. We've seen more people that are just we don't care when you come back, but could you come back as soon as possible? So the fact that we're here today, and a lot of people were asking because they see the shows in America, they're like, we know it's probably not exactly like that, but are you gonna, we brought you a show. We're very, very stoked to be here. We brought you all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. mean, radio
Yeah.
built this band, for sure. This band was built on radio because, look, we've been around for 22 years, 23 years, but really touring for just at 21 years. And we never said no to radio. Hey, you want to play our radio fest? Can you come do an interview? Can you come do these things? And you do those things, you gain mutual respect, and then they might play your song a couple more times that week or whatever. So this band was definitely built on radio. We will never turn our backs on radio. However, things have changed over those 20 years, and yes, Spotify is important. Yes, iTunes is important. Yes, Pandora is important. All of those outlets are important. To me, I look at it, and I think Brent would agree on this, is I want our song played on all of those things, and I want it to climb all of those charts. I want to be on the top of all those playlists because the youth goes to those maybe more than they do radio, but all of it puts yourself out there and makes the band grow even more. So I think all of those outlets are important. They all just do different things, you know. And yeah, we could talk about, you know, Spotify maybe not giving back as much as artists would like and things like that, but the devil is who you know, and it is what it is these days. So you still want to grow with all of those organizations.
One thing that I'll say about the radio, though, because when you're being specific to said the United States and Canada, they're similar, but the difference in the U.S. to any other country is this, and I can just be honest about it. The platform for streaming broadens you out to an entire planet, but you're competing with 240,000 songs a day on just the Spotify streaming service alone. It's not even counting Apple, Pandora, Shazam, Amazon, I can keep going, YouTube. I mean, people need to understand also too, I mean, as far as streaming is concerned, YouTube is the #1 place to listen to music. It's the highest, and it's not even talked about, but that's where most people listen to music. But in the United States of America, there's 50 states. In those 50 states, there are multiple cities. And in those cities, there are multiple towers that curate to that market. And you have AM and FM. So you have talk radio, and then you have radio. Usually talk is AM, but FM, you have country music, you have alternative stations, you have rock stations, you have pop stations, you have hip hop stations, you have urban stations, you have rhythmic stations. Like there's so many towers, and every state and every city, like there's a culture in each one of those cities, and there's a branding, if you will, and something that separates that city from every other. And you know, their market share and their community, they double down on that. So it is a different thing in the US than any other country, because you'll go into the UK, there's 3 radio stations. You'll go into even the Czech Republic, I think there's 1 station.
Yeah.
You know, so the dynamic of that, yes, this is the way we've always looked at it. And I mean it from a global sense too. You know, the reality is that the way that I've always seen it and the band has seen it, and why radio is such a predominant thing for us, is it did build our band, because there were moments with the streaming services where they wouldn't give us playlisting, but radio was always there. We're also a band that's on 5 formats in the United States, so it's not just one style of music or one type of listener. And to that credit, I would say this: streaming will get your music played, but radio will give you a career. I'm probably always going to be partial to the Sound of Madness album. It was a turning point in whether or not this band was going to exist or not. And there was a lot that was thrown, especially at me and Barry at that point in time. And you know, there were a lot of people that were like, it's over, man. And we just didn't look at it that way. We just kept our focus on what we were doing. We believed in the songs. We believed in the people we were working with. But honestly, for me, I don't know if I could just put it to one. It'd be either Sound of Madness or Attention, Attention. Because Attention was another defining moment, because Eric, who is our bass player, who's probably a bass player last, it's very rare to have a band member that is a savant the way that he is, to be able to engineer, mix, produce. And that was the first full-length record that we did in-house with Eric. So it'd be a toss-up for me between those 2 records. I don't know, what do you say?
I'm about to say, I mean, I have to go with Sound of Madness, because that's what really turned it around and saved our career and became our career. And then I also, you know, the nostalgia of me wants to put on the first record, Leave a Whisper, because that's what started it all. You know, that's 45 on that record is actually my audition to get into the band. That recording is my audition to get in the band, which is, you know, a whole nother story. But I listen back to that and go, if it wasn't for the way I played that song in that recording studio, this guy wouldn't have brought me into the band and I would have never been here. So that record has a lot of nostalgia for me.
The one I didn't think was going to be as big as it was Second Chance. I didn't realize that it was going to do what it did. The one that when I heard it for the first time and I knew it was in there was A Symptom of Being Human.
For me, the one I didn't think would be a success, that ended up being a success, was Bully. I wasn't sure about it. I was on the fence and I was wrong. The one that I heard for the first time that I went, yeah, that's a no-brainer, for me was Sound of Madness. I think in the catalog there's a lot of songs that I would have loved to have seen released. You know, there's politics in it. You can only release so many from a record, you know, at those times. There are quite a few of them. You know, I think for me, I love those songs, by the way. Those were great deep cuts for me.
Well, even Call Me, which wasn't a single, is 3 times platinum. Like, yeah. And it was never even a single.
People love that song. So there's songs like that. What a Shame. You know, what a great deep cut that he wrote during a very tumultuous time for him and his family, and you know, those songs speak to me and I wish they would have done something, but you know, that's the history. This is what it is.
Well, the good thing is in 2028 it'll be the 20-year anniversary of that album, and we're already getting offers to play it in its entirety. So there'll probably be an anniversary year coming up, so maybe those songs will get their due.
Yeah. One thing I remembered, I don't remember where the festival is, but I remember this happening. Might have been over here, I'm not sure. It was when a guy in a wheelchair got lifted up and crowd surfed the crowd and just having a great time in his wheelchair. Just the crowds passing around in circles, and I think it was during Enemies. That's probably one of my, it was bizarre to see, but the way they took really good care of this guy and didn't let his wheelchair fall, and he was probably up there for a good minute. That was really cool for me.
Yeah, the dude with the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember that. There's been so many of them, honestly. Like I trying to like put it into perspective, like thinking about like bizarre things that have happened.
Opening up for Iron Maiden, when we first started doing that, the Iron Maiden fans are such Iron Maiden fans, and we knew going into it that their crowd's going to be tough. We know you're there for Iron Maiden, but to have them actually literally turn their back to you for the first few songs was bizarre. And you know, I give everything to my front man who.
It was only for a minute, though.
It was only for a minute.
But I got him.
He was so good at getting into these guys and girls' heads and getting them to turn around and actually enjoy the show. But at first, they just turn their back to you, like we're here for Maiden, and that's it. So that was bizarre. I can't imagine, no. This is definitely my first love and what I've always wanted to do. But I'm a college graduate. I was going to school for forensic anthropology, so that would have been what I would be doing. But I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah, I don't really, honestly, I just don't ever think about it. I was born, and my first like real conscious thought was doing what I'm doing. I don't really know what my skill would be. I mean, I have other skills, but like for me, I just don't think about it. Like I'm like, because in this profession, I wouldn't call it a job. This profession is constantly, you know, you're having to go through obstacles, and there's tons of things being thrown at you at any given moment because the industry is ever evolving. So like the music industry that it is today is not the music industry it was 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. And the music industry that it is today won't be the one that it is 10 years from now. You're gonna like, here's the thing, I told this to somebody the other day, and it was like, I think inspiring to them and also terrifying at the same time. And I said, you gotta remember something about the music industry. It will never age, but you will. So you got to figure out where you belong and how to carve your own not niche, but your own paths,
Yeah.
and not just one path. Like, pull the chisel out, get the ironwork, and pave as many like roads as you can, because the industry is always going to be forever young. You will age, and you will have to figure out where you belong or where you kind of carve out your next moment.
And I would say also in this industry, as a musician, you come in as just a musician. Oh, I'm just going to play music and that's what I'm going to do, and we're going to have a blast on stage. Well, guess what? You're going to earn your honorary doctorate in finance. You're going to learn to be a lawyer. You're going to have to learn how to be a manager. You're going to have to learn how to do all these things, because if you don't,
Psychologist.
you have to be a psychologist. So, you know, I think we wear many hats. We might not have the piece of paper for it, but I guarantee you we have a doctorate in each one of them.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Truly, it's different.
Yeah, it is. I understand the question. It's how you navigate it. Like, 'cause
Might be
you
a little
can't-
harder to
you
navigate
can't-
now.
Yeah, you can't live in the past, because that's over. So like, you have to kind of have the forward momentum. The only thing that you could do in the future is bring all the quality and the authenticity of the past and make sure that that doesn't die, and bring it into the future.
Sure. Selfishly for me, probably Prince. Even though it doesn't necessarily make sense genre-wise, but I don't care. He was such a prolific writer and
I think
such
he'd be
a great
into
player.
it.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. So for me, Prince.
Yeah, just one? Man, yeah, we're gonna, well, should I do one? You did one that's,
Do what you thought. What was the first thing that popped in your head?
that if I could do a duet with Otis Redding,
Oh,
I'd
hell
do it
yeah.
in a heartbeat.
That's how you learn to sing.
That's true. Well, thank God they're all still here. And by the way, anytime Iron Maiden wants to do a song with us, we're on the plane in the studio. Let's
Come on.
rock.